I just exploded.
Hey Ryan, why don't you pull up Amazon's margins real quick?
Well, yeah, I'd have more of a grin on my face than Stephen Hawking on Epstein's Island.
I'm off as a smug cock when you said that.
Wow, physical philosophy, you're not very smart at all. You screw up, cash flow kings. Dissector, you are an idiot.
Hello, everybody. It's Saturday, and it's 8 p.m. Eastern. And at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you could be doing a wide variety of activities that may or may not be accretive to your lifestyle. Fiscal, what are some of the activities you could be doing at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern that, let's just say, are not so accretive to your lifestyle? They're cash flow negative.
Well, I mean, you could be riding dirty.
Ooh.
Because they'll see you rolling and they're hating.
Yeah.
You could be up in the club, getting frisky with some vodka sodas and some club thoughts, paying for that bottle service.
Ooh, you can get the sign up there too.
Getting a
Club
section,
11. Yeah.
Paying for a table. All these things are negative cash flow.
Yeah, you could be perhaps paying for a dance or two, falling in love with strippers, just stuff that ideally you don't want to have attached to your lifestyle.
City girl, party lifestyle.
Yeah, all the stuff, and let's just hope that your time at the club lasts longer than Khmer's retirement, because that was not very long-lived. Episode 79 will forever go in the history books.
Lasted for a whole weekend?
Yeah, it was like as long as Trump's tariffs lasted. Like, things have not been lasting very long recently on the Cash Flow Kings.
What is it about people who wear red hats?
I don't know. But welcome back, everybody. And if you were paying attention to the Discord announcements or our Twitter at CashflowKingsYT, go follow right now. We said that we had a big announcement, and this has been a while in the makings. And Fiscal, what are you doing on Saturday in 2 weeks? Do you know?
Well, I do know that I'll be on the Cashflow Kings live, but I can't be any more specific than that.
Well, that's true. But you won't be in here talking live because we will actually be having CEO of High Tide, Raj Grover, on. The episode will be premiering on the 26th. For channel members, it will be available on the 23rd or 24th. But yeah, we pulled some strings together for this, and we're looking forward to it.
This is legitimately the most excited I've been in a very long time.
His face doesn't show it, everybody, but he's very excited.
I'm cool as a cucumber, my friend. Cool as a cucumber.
Will he be wearing sunglasses? Will we be in a more professional outfit, one could say? We might have to be.
Know.
You never know on the Cashflow Kings. We're also going to be joined. It would be inappropriate, I feel, to do this without Blake and our good friend Fabio D. They will be joining us as well. So the episode will be premiering on the 26th. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I think with the recent bit of a slope in High Tide stock price, this will make even more of an interesting episode.
Could it be getting the CFK bump yet again? Who knows?
Yeah, I know that. The interview goes really well. Imagine
the stock rockets up to $10.
Since it presents on a weekend, there's going to be after hours and stuff. Monday, the 29th or whatever that day is going to be, stock's just up 15% after what he said on the. That would be probably the biggest accomplishment. Besides making finance guy quit Twitter. It didn't line up on a Saturday. So
missed opportunity, but
yeah.
Also, I don't think he was available on the 20th. So
yeah, it was. It was, unfortunately, we can't get Raj to come on at exactly Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's kind of a, personal time, but we're very excited to be having him on. Dave's 23rd, the interview is going to happen. So, channel members will obviously get it first. And it's going to be a different kind of an episode for sure. I'm going to really have to restrict myself from making any dirty jokes. I'm going to have to actually be professional. It's going to be.
Yep.
If I try to make a joke, I'll just be grinning on the side.
I'll have to find a nice vest to wear.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like actually dress up. I'll have to put on a suit, and it's gonna only
Sunglasses may still be on the
sunglasses. I think have to be. Those are due. We can
There
do a
was
fake
that one guy on Twitter that we have to show.
yeah, they're. We've had haters throughout the doubters, we should say.
He'll never talk to you if you wear sunglasses.
Yeah, but very surreal moment, I guess, for us on the Cash Flow Kings coming up on like 82 episodes. That will be and wild talking to CEO of one of our companies that we own.
Yep.
Are we going to advocate for him to do a reverse stock split? I don't know.
I mean, I crazier things have happened.
I know. Imagine we're the one that convinces them. They announce it on Monday. No, but yeah, absolutely crazy. Thank you all for the support. People on Twitter that were nagging him to come on to the show. We appreciate it. Yeah, with that said, though, we have none other than Seymour Duck join us tonight. Coming on amidst this this market, I don't even know what we're supposed to call it. Are we up? Are we down? Are we median? Welcome in, Seymour.
Hello.
We were originally going to be on Orange Grove 55, but that kind of fell out like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we could talk about
scheduling issues.
Yeah, scheduling issues. Fiscal was coughing up blood a few weeks ago. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Who even remembers anymore?
Who remembers when the stock? To be honest, the market has made like April feel like forever.
Yep, I agree.
I don't care. It's always good fun. Seymour, how is your portfolio doing? Obviously, you're not really U.S. focused. You don't have a ton of U.S. companies, so I'd imagine you're holding up decently well.
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Especially since majority is evolution, so it's been like flat almost.
Yeah, we're in the 80s now. We were having a good day yesterday.
Well, technically, I'm in the green with evolution, so yeah.
Yeah, evolution is one of, even though I think year to date it's technically only up like 3% or something, it's technically one of my best performing individual stocks this year.
Held up.
Yeah.
And then soon the dividends is going to get paid out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, May's going to be we're the passive income arc may be back.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot, Seymour, cuz you're like 80% in evolution, but
yeah.
You're heavy.
He's heavy.
Yeah. So, do we all want to kind of start where this week kind of went? So, from my recollection, this last 2 weeks has felt like forever. I'm trying to remember now. Monday we were down. Tuesday we were down again. Then it was up. Then it was down. And then Wednesday, I went out with a lady friend midday. And my portfolio was up. Yeah. Portfolio was up like 1,500.
Portfolio wasn't the only thing that was up.
I wish. I wish.
They got pills for that.
Yeah, self-control. Self-control. Midday, I'm not that down bad. But
have you heard of a company called Hims? They can help with that.
Then the portfolio, I came home and it was up like 10%. And I'm like, this is it. We're back. Then it was down again. Like it was like the most nonchalant. Thursday was like the most nonchalant day of the market being down 4%. Like nobody cared. It seemed like.
Yep. We become so numb, just like that Linkin Park song.
Yeah, Trump. I've become so. So Trump basically, from my recollection, now I was a little busy throughout the week. Everybody, a little busy, but he reversed the tariffs, made it. I can't with the comment section. I'm reading this. Reverse the tariffs, did a 90-day delay, except for China. Like he's basically trolling at this point. And then over the weekend they've made like exceptions, right? That's what I've seen dividend do.
Smartphones, electronics, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, and semiconductors. So basically, the tariffs are basically there was no point of them.
Yeah, no. all the stuff that's like actually where it would have been like very impactful and really done something. Yeah. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, that includes China too. So
yeah,
Apple doesn't get the tariffs on their smartphones.
Right. Yeah,
Tim Cook's working that magic.
Funny. I think it was you know Andrew
Yeah.
Yeah, he, I guess, called that Apple was going to get an exemption on all their stuff, and then the smartphone thing. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, Tim Cook reminds me like the godfather of tech. If you get one call from him, you know it's a big deal. Because you barely hear anything from him.
Yeah, does that justify, paying a 40p for Apple? I don't know. What is it? It's not 40, is it? It's up there, but I don't know if 40 is.
I thought it was like at the highs. I thought it was like 42, like before the.
Oh, it's like 30 now.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
that's not too bad
Yeah.
compared to what it was before.
Well, what are they at now? Like 199. I'm happy I sold. I'll tell you that. That was a move. Thanks,
you picked the top.
Yeah, I did pick the top, and that's why you guys should all become Cashflow Kings channel members. Only $2 a month. Yeah, okay, 196 right now, so that's still a little expensive. I definitely, wouldn't call it generational buying opportunity like some people on Twitter are. But
Generational buying opportunity.
Oh, that's Google. Sorry, the Google whale.
This is where millionaires are made. I mean, Google's good, but it's not. You're not going to 10x or anything. Come on.
I'm trying to. Yeah, this is what price would Apple have to get for you guys to like even consider it to add again?
Like for sure below for sure below 150.
150 to look.
Yeah, under 150.
Yeah. Dude, I literally.
But for me though, the problem is that everything else is so expensive that it makes Apple look justified.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Google's cheaper than Apple, is it not?
Yeah.
Google, yes. But I mean, like every other tech company, like Tesla, Palantir.
Yeah. I mean, heck, by some metrics, Amazon's cheaper than Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Amazon's growing a little faster than Apple too, but
exactly.
Yeah.
So I know where I'd rather put my chips.
Yeah, my YouTube feed has been flooded with people saying that their number one position is now Amazon.
Oh, well,
we've it's not been a bad time to allocate.
They're all copying me. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they all bought the dip.
They're cloning the whales.
Where did you find that the dividend whale?
I made that
meme?
myself.
Okay, because I reposted it. It's too good not to.
Yeah.
Dividend dude, the Google whale himself.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was accused this week of going after Dividend Dude. Dividend Dude, I do not go after you. It's fair game as far as I'm concerned.
Wait,
I go after everybody.
He thought you went after him, or
I just said Nike was a stupid position, and that's regardless if he's in it or not.
But did he say that you were going after him because you said that, or
yeah?
Oh,
no. There's no beef or anything. I don't think.
Yeah.
I hope
no,
not.
it's not. It's not you. It's not you. Double D's. It's just Nike.
Yeah, Nike's
and Bill Ackman.
Yeah, to quote William Shakespeare, of all things, why the fuck Nike?
We have quite a party going on in the comment section right now.
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ! What did I? Okay.
We've got Steve. We've got Dan. We've got we tie on dividends under a different name.
Peace, love, and animal crackers. Yeah. I love how he can change names and we just know it's him. That's the greatest thing ever.
Yep.
Trump's like an Arizona head who forgot his meds. Well said. Can we talk? We'll get to Khmer. Trust me. I think there's more pressing matters than a midlife Cambodian crisis right now.
Mm-hmm.
But sure. What have you guys been allocating to? You guys allocate to anything this week earlier?
So, I mean, for me recently, it's been like Google, a little bit of Uber, some KKR. Sold puts on, well, put on TSM because like it takes so much cash to sell a put on TSM. Yeah. But it was like 4 days to expiration. Like 100, it was, and the strike price was like the 52-week low, and it paid like almost 2% in premium, and it expired Friday, so I made 2% on it for like 4 days.
Hey, nobody likes a bragger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because TSM obviously was looking pretty good for a hot second there. I guess people thought that they were going to get invaded or something any second.
There we go. He's back.
Yeah. So just random stuff like that.
Amazon?
Haven't added more to Amazon lately.
I keep forgetting you got all of your position in at like 160. You're lucky.
Well, no. My blended average on Amazon is 179 because I started at 200 and bought down to 160 and then it came back up. Yeah,
I remember. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's back above my cost basis now. Like if it hit 160 again, I'd probably have to do some very, very devious things to find the money to put more into it. But at the moment, I'm happy just to keep it if it's above my cost.
Lowest it got to was like 169. No,
that's where that sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, I think right now is I think Amazon's like 10% of the portfolio right now. I was definitely like literally all I've been buying throughout this entire dip has been like SHG and Amazon. And like I want to ask both of you, do you think that's like for me just going into SHG all the way here throughout this entire dip, majority of the funds, is that a wise move?
I mean, I think Amazon's probably stronger because SCHG has some of the more overvalued and higher volatility type things in it, I would think. Do they have Palantir in there?
Very low percent. It's like 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, both is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly not the worst thing you could do in the world. The worst thing would be to buy Misty.
MSOS is probably number 2.
Yeah, MSOS is pretty bad too. High Tide's back over $2.
I know, that was a pleasant surprise to see.
I mean, a little mini recovery on that. So
by the way, everybody, buy High Tide right now before the interview because we're gonna make the price go up a lot. It's like the Trump tweet earlier this week. Right now is a really, really good time to buy the dip. I would be buying.
We're gonna have a mini Trump moment and be like, it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, and then
hashtag High Tide, and then then suddenly
it's gonna be like we're gonna have the Roaring Netflix documentary. It's gonna be like the High Tide bump after us.
Yeah. I think I added maybe a little TSSI to at some point.
Oh yeah. So what's your how much of what's your allocation in KKR? Is it smaller?
In the account that's in, I've got like 45 shares of it, so it's not a ton.
Okay, I gotta do the math right now.
Yeah.
What's your thesis basically with it? Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. So do you remember the 16 companies that they own outright that Fuhat showed us?
Vividly.
You mean vaguely?
Vaguely, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I'm looking.
I have a hunch that KKR's valuation, like probably just those 16 companies, because he was saying 30 billion of free cash flow just from those companies by 2030 or something like that. I might be getting one of those numbers wrong, but I remember looking at their market cap and that free cash flow number that he threw out in those 16 companies and thinking that alone actually justifies the value, like easily justifies today's valuation plus everything else that they have.
I see.
So yeah, I think it's, and being that it's like basically private equity, it's been harder hit recently than some of the rest of the market. But I think when things actually recover, it'll probably recover harder. The deeper the valley, the greater the peak, whatever you want to say on that. So yeah, it's pretty small. Like it's not a huge position or anything. So it's not like I'm taking a giant risk, but they're also they're very diversified, we'll say.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things I've been looking at with the whole like tariff situation is like, does the holding have some diversification specifically outside of like businesses that do a single thing that was that would expose them to, like, let's say they didn't do the exemption for smartphones, Apple would have gotten shellacked, right?
Yeah.
But somebody that does a lot of things everywhere, they'll have exposure, but not to everything that they do. With Apple, it would have been like a disproportionate hit on them if the smartphone thing would have stayed.
iPads would have took over. We all know that.
Sure. And that's actually one of the things that I've noticed in common with the stocks, because I've only been doing like one video a week lately. Been a little lazy, but one of them was like the 3 stocks that I've had that have held up the best this year so far. And they are BTI, Evolution, and MPW. And all of them...
Yeah, those are... Not MPW. Yeah. I don't have MPW, but those 2.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically, like, Uber could have been on the list, but since it's one that I bought in 2025,
Ooh.
I don't like to say that it has held up the best. I think to say it's held up the best, I needed to own it beforehand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 But none of those companies is really going to be like directly impacted very much by tariffs. If you think about it, like MPW collects rent from hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tariffs, if like medical supplies or like medical devices and things like that get tariffed, that could hurt like the tenants potentially, but like rent doesn't get tariffed, right?
Okay.
Evolution, like gaming software, doesn't get tariffed.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and especially they have studios in the States because it's already heavily regulated.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. They're globally diversified. So even if like the U.S. economy suffered because of it, they're in other economies where people will still have the money to gamble. And you could even argue that since it's a vice, if the economy does suffer, gambling doesn't get hit as bad as some other things. So I feel like that's pretty good. And BTI, similar thing. They're a physical product, but they produce local to where they sell. So the cigarettes that they sell in the U.S. are made in the U.S., so they aren't subject to tariffs directly.
What about the cigarettes they sell in Britain? What are those called?
The
world
may
right
never
before
know.
the interview. Yeah, we can't.
The
say
world
that.
may never know. But yeah, I think that those companies hold up well because 1, cheap valuation, 2, they aren't really all that exposed to tariffs. And also I think the fact they pay a dividend probably helps in some regard because it makes it more competitive with cash. Because a lot of people that are feeling insecure are just parking it in treasuries right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to compete with that, a low valuation, stable cash flows, globally diversified, not exposed to tariffs, paying a dividend probably makes it more appealing to the kind of person that's like on the fence between, do I buy some stock in something defensive or do I buy just treasuries?
Okay. Uber also, if you bought Uber at like 64, you've timed that perfectly about like 2 times now in the last month and a half.
Oh, when it just dipped here again?
Yeah, that was like the one day it was down like 9%, and that's like a screaming buy, I think.
Yeah,
so I'm already up like 11% on that. And...
I've been DCAing some Uber along the way, but my original 100 shares that I got at $61 is like,
good days. Good days.
So
PP asks a very good question, and we always appreciate when you ask all of us individuals questions as well. He meant SHG. Why do you prefer SHG over SPY or QQQ? Simple answer is that I just prefer some of the like metrics that the fund managers use, like growth rates and stuff, to find some of these just growing companies that I just straight up don't know about. Also, performance doesn't lie. It's been incredible with performer recently. Obviously, past performance is not indicative of future, But Craig, when he came on a few weeks ago, he's like, you may own, if Apple's performing bad now, then you're going to own the next Apple, vice versa. So I prefer SHG just because that reason. Then SHD, I guess I can also elaborate on that as well. That's in the portfolio for kind of a defensive aspect, and I'm also, a lot of people don't like this, but I'm gonna actually use the dividends. Probably like 10 years, probably around 10 years. Let me think, like 7 to 10 years. Vegas CFK trip isn't going to pay for itself, so that, and it's also, it was nice getting some SHD dividends and reinvesting it. Recent dip / crash, and of course, like as the portfolio value grows, that position's going to grow, and the weighting is, so the performance is basically similar to what SPY or VOOT would be. So there's your answer.
Interesting. It's an interesting answer. I mean, if you like their, because I think SCHG and SCHD together does end up being fewer stocks than the SPY, right? Like, because it's not 500.
Yeah, that too. That's
yeah.
what I forgot to mention.
Yeah. So if you think that the SPY has a lot of trash in it, and that the fund managers at Schwab like have a better process for picking what, or screening what gets to make it into the fund. Are they each 100 stocks? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like constantly do rebalances and stuff, reconstitutions.
Yeah. So if you like their like formula or whatever it is, and you think that on average it gets you better stocks than just the criteria for the S&P 500 would get, then I think that's probably the answer too.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Another thing too that I completely just forgot in my head. Good Lord. It's going to come back. I'll get back to it. We are not going live during the UFC. We're going to be done at 9 o'clock. You can catch the good prelims then. I'm going to be tuning in too. It's like the first card that's been good in a long time. Yeah,
we're the pregame show.
We are the pregame show. You
watch us, and then you transition straight over to the UFC. It's simple.
Yeah. You see violence on both shows sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes,
yeah. Oh, good Lord, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Oh, okay, so the weighting, I take that back. It's not going to be a SPY. It's going to be a little more than SPY, assuming things go the way they're supposed to go over the long term. Because I'm going like 25 or 30% into SHG, 10 SHD. So still getting that outperformance, hopefully.
So you're putting more into the growth, which is
right now.
Everybody says you should do that because of your age. Everybody keeps saying you should do more growth, growth. Yeah,
I'm going heavy in there. And then once I get the Roth opened, once you guys all become $2 channel members, I get some CFK distributions because I make all my money illegally and under the table. That's a joke. Then I'll open the Roth and probably put like by VT.
Yeah. You're going to do the strongman method and be a boglehead, huh?
Yeah, diversification, that kind of thing.
VT.
Yeah.
VT is diversified, that's for sure.
Yeah, nothing wrong with VT.
No. We'll talk about Disney now because that's the topic of everybody.
Yeah. I just want to say though. I just want to say though that the stocks that I bought, just Evolution and Nintendo.
Evolution, Nintendo. Okay, that's not surprising at all.
That's it. And also like for Evolution, there was news that Kenneth Dart has been accumulating more shares. He's heavy in BTI, and he's like now the number one shareholder. He's 15% in Evolution.
Nice.
15% of his portfolio, or
no, of the entire company.
He owns that.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. Well, that was good.
Yeah, he's like the biggest. Yeah.
I heard a rumor that he's going to push for more buybacks.
That's a real man.
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
And also during the there was a press release for the shareholder meeting and the voting docket, and one of them was like bring Evolution officially to the US for shares. So that could be interesting as well.
We should tell Kenneth Dart about High Tide.
So the one thing I think part of why they've held up pretty well though is the fact that they're not in the US. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
US stocks
absolutely.
have gotten hit. The fact
Yeah.
that they're over the counter and they're Swedish is like that's partly insulated them from like the crash so far. So I think they can. I'd be happy if they stayed with it. I wouldn't sell them for moving to the US. Would they be going to like try to get listed on the New York Stock Exchange? Then is that part of what?
Yeah, or NASDAQ. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And there was another voting that worked with the government, donate to Donald Trump. And you work with the government so that they can loosen some of the restrictions in the gambling industry in the U.S.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I love gambling. Gambling's so fun, isn't it?
Lower
I
the
had a
age to
casino.
16.
Yeah.
It's
No,
less
that-
dangerous than driving a car, I think. So
Hey, and doesn't during a recession or tougher economic time, as Blake likes to say, people like to go towards those cheaper pick-me-ups. Would we consider gambling? I guess. Would evolution be like? You think evolution has like a more medium or lower class kind of clientele? People that
I
are
think
going to
I
go
think it runs like across the whole economic spectrum because you
diversity and
like
degenerates.
I used to do some online poker back in the day when I was about your age, and just to give you an idea of how long ago we're talking, and you would have you would have the tables of people playing for like a nickel, like
Dollar blackjack.
nickel or dollar type stakes, and then you would also have the people playing for like the 25 50 blinds and the 50 100 blinds and the tournaments, the $1 tournaments and like the $200 tournaments and the $500 tournaments. So there were people at every single level. Of course, fewer and fewer the higher you go, just because not as many people have that much money. But like you get every type of person. Like there's, I hate to use this word, but there's a lot of whales out there.
A lot of high stakes gamblers online.
Yeah, there are a lot of whales. So, and they will, like they're going to keep doing what they do regardless of what the economy is doing.
Yeah. Back to Disney though. That's Snow White. We're I think we should turn into like a conservative show fiscal. We have Trump in the thumbnail tonight. We should turn into like one of those conservative shows that attacks like kids programming. Yeah. We don't want this woke nonsense on our TV. So basically everybody's saying that Snow White is shit. It's pretty like eerily similar to like 2022 Disney, where like nothing they could make was good. That vibe is coming back. Seymour, you're obviously a bit of a Disney insider here on the Cashflow Kings. Is Disney gone shit? Is the movie good? What are your thoughts? And obviously, you are a non-biased individual.
Yeah, I actually sold my Disney shares. I don't even have Disney anymore. Yep. Because of the management. I actually didn't like the management coming from Bob Iger with the transparency, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, with Disney, it's just one movie. That's it. It was a movie that wasn't that good. That's basically it. But unfortunately, because something bad happens with a company that's been hated for so many years, some people are putting reason to it that it's woke, it's this and that. But then when it's very successful with the same thing, nobody says anything. Like Moana 2, right?
Yep.
That's over $1 billion. They made over $1 billion, and then it became on Disney Plus the #1 movie. Nobody says anything because it does well. But everyone says everything when it doesn't do well. It gets those clicks and headlines. It's one movie. It doesn't do well. People are going to move on and they're going to see, oh, look, Fantastic Four is going to do amazing. Oh, the Avengers Doomsday, amazing. And then people forget that Snow White even did bad.
Yeah. Yep. And we are going to call out Dividend Dude here on this show because I'm going to do it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Seymour, but there was a tweet that was put out by Dividend Dude and accountability needs to be had. It was like off an I don't even know what is it, IMBF? Something that, Seymour? It's like an IMBF review.
Yeah. So a lot of times including clickbait. They just take these headlines and they just share them. I'm like, hey, look, see Disney, they're bad, but they don't go beyond the headline. So they see IMDb and they see, oh, the reviews are low. I'm like, yeah, but you got to think about it. If who's reviewing the movie if it's bad? Who's watching the movie?
Okay, here's the tweet for context, everybody. No Disney slander is going to be had.
Exactly. So negativity drives more engagement in general. Exactly.
Yeah. 1.5 stars out of 10. Disney continues to make horrible movies off of an unverified review. So,
if it's horrible, then where are those 252,000 people watching the movie if they know it's terrible? Are they spending their money to watch something they know it's terrible? I see people on X, 40-year-old men and above, complaining that the movie is shit when they knew the movie was going to be shit. When they saw the trailer and they say it was shit like 2 years ago, and they still went out and spent their money to see it, to review it, and say it's shit. Like,
Disney already got your money, bro.
It is woke. They are making pedophiles at Disney. They all got trucker hats and gray beards, gray and ginger beards.
I always go vote with your wallet. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's as simple as that. Snow White, all right? I didn't like the movie. I went there only because I was on a date, but I didn't like it.
High five.
Yeah. I'm assuming you didn't try and do the old arm trick during Snow White.
No. In Canada, there's these the movie theater chain Cineplex. There's VIP seatings, and we get these big ass recliners. We get in seating of food in seating, and we get drinks. It's all fancy and no kids.
Yeah, nice. The Minecraft movie. If you guys want any romantic date ideas, the Minecraft movie I think is probably the one I'd go to. You may be a little too inappropriate at times, so I would definitely be ready if things could go down in the movie theater.
The Minecraft movie, huh?
Yeah, the Minecraft movie.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, but Disney, sentiment is very low right now. I think if fiscal at $84, are you heavily interested here?
Actually, the way I've been playing Disney recently is with when it craters, I'll do like cash secured puts and farm that volatility, because it seems like it craters and then recovers and then craters and then recovers, but it doesn't like go. It seems like to not want to go below like a certain point.
Like 75, no? That seems like the absolute like bare minimum. I could see it.
Yeah. But granted, I've done like different strikes every time where it's just like and like keeping the time frames short to like not give it a chance to bleed off too much, and getting a little bit lucky too. But I'm doing it all at prices where if I got assigned the shares, I'd be fine, because my cost basis on the shares I have right now is like $97, so I'm underwater either way.
So, Seymour, what did you not love about the transparency and Bob Iger? Because I've never really heard this argument.
It's just like when he came back, he threw everyone under the bus, even though it was his idea. It was his idea for the last CEO. It was his idea for a lot of the stuff that was implemented. He says that we need to make quality, not quantity, and then he talks about like some of the content that did bad, even though it was in production while he was doing it. He didn't take responsibility as a CEO, and then he blaming everyone else. And then he said that other people will have to take responsibility when things go bad. And it didn't happen when Snow White was happening. It didn't happen. So it's like, you didn't really do anything. You did make better quality, but you still have that issue with PR and like with Snow White and all that. And I thought he was going to push and, people take responsibility for their actions, but no, it feels like Disney just waits it out until it dies out, or when it gets escalated. That's the only time they do something. And you know what Warren Buffett said, like, at one point you have an idiot run a company. I feel like Disney right now, it's too complex for that to happen.
Yeah.
And they need to clean house. They need to fix the structure. There's a lot of mess in between the companies. And because of that, that's why it sold.
She's gone, Blake, from my understanding, Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, she's been a major problem too. And he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, Star Wars Rough. I'll say that. It's rough.
But that's not me but I'm not going to be blind and say that Disney didn't do well, right? Disney has been doing tremendous, especially on their streaming side, and they're now profitable and going up. And they were losing a lot of money during COVID while they were investing it. Now it's profitable. So they're doing great things. Their movies, the last 4 movies before, they were doing tremendous. Deadpool and Wolverine did amazing.
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 did amazing. Moana 2 did amazing. So Disney does make good quality movies that people watch.
And then the thing. If you're a movie studio and you're in the business of making movies, you're gonna have, for every blockbuster, there's gonna be a stinker in there too. Like you can't. I don't think there's any studio or any like major production company that only ever puts out blockbusters. And so they had, you said 4 in a row that were quite good. They were due for a stinker. Like it is what it is, and I think they'll be fine. Like they've had stinkers before, but when the next blockbuster comes out, people will have forgotten. The next record breaker, the next Deadpool and Wolverine, whatever, like people will forget about the stinker.
I disagree with you, Fiscal. I think they went 3 for 3 on the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. Whoever, I know Disney owns it, but I don't know what studio made it. Maybe I think Fox. Okay, I'll defend Bob while you're here. I remember like pre 2020, maybe even during 2020, Bob Iger had a crazy legacy. I think the last 5 years have been a complete taint on his legacy, and I think he's I read his book. I think he's driven enough to try and remove that and get Disney back to where they were, but it's definitely easier right now to say that he's a trash CEO than it was let's say 6 years ago. I don't think many people are calling him trash.
Interesting.
I'll defend it.
I do agree though that Disney is a little bit. It's a beast. It's a complicated beast with a lot of moving parts, and it's probably a difficult ship to steer.
Yeah. I'm also worried. Dana Walden is supposedly the favorite to be the next CEO, and from what I've heard, not a lot of people like her. So I'll say this:
I actually don't mind her. I actually like her.
Okay.
I know a lot of people online are saying they're bad, but she came from Fox. She came from the other side, and nobody complained about her once when she was ahead of Fox Television and everything about that. She did really well with that, and then Disney bought Fox, and she came in. She's good friends with Rupert Murdoch and the whole family, but now apparently she's woke because she's with Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never would have called her woke when she was at Fox. That's for sure.
She has a good
program.
Look, I don't like putting all these politics in place and whatnot. So I look at the track record she did, and she did really well. She did really well with Hulu, the general entertainment side, and even in her past with Fox, like with Family Guy, Simpsons, like in general entertainment, she does really, really well. The hit shows that are on Hulu and Disney Plus right now worldwide are on the general entertainment side.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite shows that I watch on Disney Plus. I don't watch any of the Inside Out to Moana, any of those movies or shows I don't really watch. It's the stuff that Dana Walden was really good at is the one that I watch. And you can see that they're winning awards for Emmys and whatnot. I think Disney consistently every year has been winning #1 for those.
Nice. Too much winning almost.
You're going to say, Mr. President, please, it's too much winning.
But Disney right now, I don't think it's a bad buy, especially when price to book is 1.5 times. The sentiment has brought the stock down so much that you're almost at book value.
And if they're buying back shares too here.
Exactly. I think that's why there's a stopgap where it doesn't go any lower, because at a certain point you're just going to pay for its book value, and that's just ludicrous for a company like Disney, even with its faults.
True.
Do you think Disney's like more of a medium-term trade, like 5 to 10 years?
I mean, if it saw like 180 or something again, I'd probably be like, it's a little steep.
Hey, we're different. I bought it 180.
Yeah, we are not the same.
It's funny. I had like incredible timing on some stocks, and then like the others, like absolute worst. Nike at 140, Target at 220, Disney 180. Then there's some names like Microsoft at 225, Visa at 180. Like, it's crazy. That's why you just buy an index fund, everybody. Don't do what we do.
But where's the fun in that?
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
Isn't this supposed to be fun?
Isn't this a fun show? Oh, okay. We'll talk about the Kamara update. So he returned very quickly on Monday. Turns out his vacation, he missed it a little more than we anticipated he would. So he's back, and I don't know. I don't have any crazy feelings on it. It's more times that I get to see him. We get more clips for the channel.
I watched. I watched Strongman react to his comeback. He did a video on it. And yeah, he likes the attention and the adoration and
the girl.
validation. And also, he was like preaching index funds on his like comeback video, which is hilarious. He's like, "Don't do what I do, buy index funds." What I do works for me. Which it's funny, he is still claiming that taking out all these loans and like maxing margin to buy shit is working for him. It's crazy, but it works for him apparently.
Yeah. You are not adding the high tide, are you right now?
Well, maybe a little bit here and there, but yeah. I've got a lot of it relative to other stuff. So like, I'm not like, yeah, I gotta add a whole lot because I would be concerned about over allocation. Like I know Blake thinks there's no such thing as being over allocated into high tide, but like I have other things like I need it to be somewhat balanced out and have like a few different ideas going. It's hard. It's also hard to do like YouTube and have a show based around investing in one company. Like I know Tom Nash has his Palantir and Meet Kevin has Tesla, but for most of us, it's hard to do actual discussion week in and week out around one stock. Heck, imagine if I know people say you're just the MPW guy, but I really do talk about a lot more than just MPW.
I don't like Tom Nash.
I don't have any feelings.
I
went after dividend, dude, but that's about it.
No, I don't. I don't like Tom Nash. He's one of the biggest grifters I don't like. No, but
every time if you're critical, all he will say is that you don't understand Palantir. That is his only defense. He won't say what it is you don't understand about it. He will just say that you don't understand it, which makes me think that he doesn't actually understand it either, and he just realized that putting Palantir in your like title and thumbnail just gets you a lot of clicks.
Tom Nash looks like somebody that would make a Disney has gone woke video. He looks like the exact kind of guy that I'd imagine. White guy, little chubby, beard, that haircut,
accent.
The stars are aligning.
Doesn't use his real name.
Yeah. Who is the one guy that uses margin to buy option ETFs? That
would be We the Khmers. Yeah. Well, and the Oracle used to do that too, but I heard.
Oh, hey, Dan might have something on that he told me this week.
Really, I'm interested to hear about that.
I'll put in the private chat because I can't risk exposure. It's been a year.
You're worried about the Oracle's wrath.
Yeah, fucking terrified, dude. Every day.
So, we literally just talked about this. He quit YouTube for like a weekend and then came back and started talking about people should buy SPY.
But he's still losing money though, so
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, he's probably like, I don't even think he's showing his account anymore. No, I think he's done doing that.
Sad days.
He realized like, oh, you can do this without ever showing your account. Nice. I love it. Love to see it.
What did I miss?
Oh, I read the private chat.
Oh yeah. Courtesy of Dan Weston.
Yeah. Gosh.
I don't know what specifically. I forgot, but That's all That's all that it is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we'll get ours one day.
These temporary price movements, like, oh no, it's down a lot, but it's Amazon. It's gonna be fine, right? Like it's so easy being invested in
half
real
quality
stuff.
companies. Yeah. There are a few holdings that I want to go over that I'm kind of like debating on what to do with them right now. One of them is probably like the smallest holding in the portfolio right now, and it's only like 2.5 shares of Union Pacific.
Yeah.
I'd be selling out at like a 4% gain. I really don't know what to do here. Should I just put it in SGov? Amazon, SGov.
So
SCG?
is it just like because it's such a small, like you don't feel like you want to fiddle around with it anymore?
Yeah, it's just like it's only like $600 worth. Like I feel better off just putting in an SGov, putting in better ideas, let it compound. But at the same time, like I'd basically be selling it, like not an optimal return.
Well, your total return would be better because of the dividend, though, right?
Yeah, like okay, so like 4% right now.
Okay. I mean, if it's just one of those things where like you don't really see it going anywhere substantially.
Dividend dude predicted this would be the year of the railroads, though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be one of those things where maybe you feel like it's taking up attention that could be spent on other ideas that you like more.
Amazon.
Do you feel like you have the time to dedicate to listening to their earnings call for your $600?
I don't. It's one of those holdings where it's just like,
yeah,
I'm pretty certain you're gonna do good in the future. It's just like better than Amazon, better than SCG. Is it worth? No.
Yeah. So I mean,
greatest.
Yeah,
they're obviously gonna be impacted by tariff too.
Yeah. Union Pacific. I don't know.
I mean, if they're shipping less, if they're moving less,
I mean, they're moving things like across the country, though. Like, granted, yes, the ports could be affected, which could maybe affect them, but I don't know. Yeah. It's if you don't feel like it's worth actually like spending your time and attention on, and you would just like, let's say worst case scenario, it like jumps 10%. Would you kick yourself for selling it?
Jeez, I don't know how much I'd make. Like that's the thing. That's like okay. Now I gotta put it in context. So 10%. I'm doing the math. 10. Oh, they went up after hours 4%. So I'm buying. Okay, I might have to get out now. 10% is going to be. That's like $50. So.
Like, is it really at the end of the day? Is it that big of it? Like,
Yeah,
even if the stock went up like 100%, it's not like you missed out on life-changing money, right?
Yeah.
So if you think other things that you have now would be a better use of that money, then don't hesitate.
Yeah, I agree.
More evolution wouldn't hurt. More evolution would not hurt at all. And I'm still like pretty much at my cost basis on Amazon too, so it's like could happen.
Yeah, you could become a Google whale like all of.
There's a funny tweet where it was
buying
I don't
heavy.
know, somebody responded to it and it was like it was like he's gonna lose his shit when Google goes to 130 or something. And
I was still like adding when it was in the 140s and stuff. I think Google similar to like I think Google and Amazon should be around similar-ish prices based on their metrics and everything. Yeah. So if it's a price range where I would be interested in Amazon, I'd also be interested in Google. Though if they were the same price, Amazon gets like a slight favoritism for me. But Google's been cheaper lately, so.
Mm-hmm. Amazon, do you think it gets TikTok?
Could be.
I don't really. To me, it would be a big deal from one perspective, but I don't think that it's necessary at all for it to be like would it potentially make them even more powerful than they already are? Sure, but still great without it. So like I guess it's just one of those heads I win, tails I don't lose.
Yeah.
What do you think, Seymour? TikTok.
Yeah, you see, it's either or for me, but I don't know right now if China is even willing to sell TikTok, because the tariffs have been escalated so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the antagonism and like the conflict seems to be pretty rough there.
Senator, I am Singaporean.
It's it's so weird now, because now if you want to let's say make a laptop in the US, it's more expensive than making it in China.
Yeah. You know what's weird? Speaking of like China and like the Singaporean thing actually made me think of this. I wonder if part of the like random sell-off, because Grab has been very volatile lately.
Ooh.
Do people think that it's Chinese? And like there are some people that are just like, oh no, we're fighting with China, like better sell this. And
maybe I should put the UNP money into Grab.
Sir,
Grab or KKR.
It's a Singaporean company.
So
which dialect of Chinese do you speak? Sir, I'm Singaporean.
Sir, once again, I told you I'm Singaporean.
So, Grab, are you Chinese or Japanese?
I'm Singapore. Senator, what?
So, you could make like a sneaky thing. Like it's only a little over $4 now, so it's and you know the regards are going to come back.
Put half of the money into Grab and put half of the money into
I think the reason for Amazon to own TikTok is for advertising.
I was gonna say the TikTok shop could be abused. I think with like Amazon,
get people to buy more stuff on Amazon, basically. Yeah.
No, that would be like I'd be worried monopoly wise if they
their ad revenue would just go bananas.
Yeah,
if they had TikTok, like their ad revenue is already really fast growing. Apparently, I was surprised when somebody on the show told us how much it was growing.
Fabio.
Oh yeah, it was I knew it was either like him or Arya. We might have been looking at it on FinChat. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Link in the description.
Link in the description. Follow our link. Help us out. We need money.
The other softwares.
But yeah. So I don't know. Like TikTok would probably supercharge it, but again, I think they're doing fine without it. So
yeah, I agree.
You just gotta hope Lena Khan doesn't get back in somehow.
Oh no!
Kamala gets elected in 2028, and Lena Khan is she's
history. Nah, man, we're gonna get a third Trump term in 2028, bro.
Oh, it's true. The people want it, so why not? You know, I wasn't gonna do it. I swear. Who's the new head of the FTC? Do we know?
Nope. Probably somebody that's not going to do a goddamn
Andrew N. Ferguson.
Oh no, the FTC is going after Disney. No, that's the FCC. Never mind.
Yeah.
FTC. Why are they going after Disney?
They're gonna leave our giant conglomerates alone. Yep.
All right, guys. Okay, I'm just saying, if you're in Visa or any of these big tech companies, I don't think I would be particularly worried that this guy is going to be shutting down our.
He's going to be breaking up all the big tech companies.
I don't think. I remember the day after Trump won, Visa went up like 8% or something ridiculous, just because of the Lena Khan effect. Ugh, nobody liked her. Kroger too. Kroger also went up. That was a great time to get out.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yep. All right, so maybe, assuming market goes up on Monday, put half of the money into Evolution, or wait to put it into Evolution, so I'll put it into SGov. Put half of the money into Grab, or KKR. Maybe I'll let the community vote for episode 80.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
I mean, if you want the dividend, then Evolution.
Ooh. Well, I still have like a month to get.
Yeah.
Okay, I still have like a month to accumulate before the ex-div date. Okay, I'll put up a poll. What I should put my large sum. I'm leaning towards Grab. I think Grab would be more fun to put it into, and the upside. I feel like it was.
Just remember that the same people that were pumping Palantir have been pumping Grab. I'm not saying it's gonna be the next Palantir, but it's gonna get some kind of a pump at some point.
All right,
and it's just a good business that's growing profitability. Profitability.
All right, new poll is up. KKR or grab, everybody. I'll definitely base my decision off of this. I'll do 1% of the portfolios. It'll be $310 worth of actually like 320, 320, 330 worth of it. So
Blake brings up a good point. He doesn't bunt, he goes for the grand slam.
Well, Roger Grover goes for doubles. It's well said. Potential home runs. Here on the Cash Flow Kings, I go for singles. KKR is just basically private equity. How does grab move relative to like the market? Like if let's say how has it been moving at least recently?
It's been really volatile and not necessarily exactly correlated with the market. Like it's had days where it's been like down 10% and random stuff like that. It's kind of been a little wild, which is why I was like, do people think this is Chinese by mistake?
You're still thinking like a 2x easy by next few years, like 5 years?
So when it was $5 and all the people were pumping it on X, they were saying $10 in 2027. So, which that's actually not like super unreasonable, but I think $7 or $8 is more realistic, but it's going to depend on the performance of the business and the sentiment of the market as the backdrop. That's going to drive that more than anything else.
I wouldn't assume they're crazy impacted by tariffs, right?
No, they don't do any business in the US at all.
Yeah.
They only operate in Southeast Asia.
Senator, I am Singaporean.
Yeah, they operate in Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, yada yada.
Or what if I had a third option, everybody? What if I do it in Nike? That would be a crazy.
No, that's a troll option. People are going to pick that just to mess with you.
They are. No. Okay, 89% of the viewers say grab. That might be it.
Didn't Grab have it at an event the other day? Last week or so?
There was. I heard there was going to be some kind of like, some kind of similar to like PayPal's change the world thing or whatever, shock the world thing. They didn't use those words, but it was a similar type of event. I haven't gone back and looked at it yet, but that might be why the stock actually recovered some, because it had crashed pretty low, like close to my cost basis again, and then it went back up over $4 again. So I don't know.
I'm starting to think right now. What if I got like a good like 10% of the portfolio? Like, what if I, narrow my portfolio down to like great, like 5 to 8 really solid holdings. I'm gonna pull this up now for fun. We'll go finchat.io, everybody. This is gonna end out the show. This was as of January. So companies I would love as core holdings. Visa, absolutely. Starbucks is gone. Ignore that. I'm fine with Vici right now because I like having the real estate exposure at like 10% of the portfolio. I feel like Jesus, man. I don't know with Microsoft anymore. I'm still deep in the green, but I'm almost wondering putting Microsoft into SHG at this point.
Put it in Amazon, bro.
Jeez. Talk about playing with house money there. Yeah, that's an idea for sure. Oh, man, I might with how much. I got to see how Microsoft trades, but yeah. Disney, honestly, there's a question mark around it right now just because of how pissed it's kind of been, but certainly not the worst. High Tide, I think I can get in there to I don't want it more than 10% of the portfolio, but I have to also assume that both theses go through at some point. It's going to be a pretty heavy holding, so be ready for that. TKO, I think that could be a question mark. Uber, I'd be fine with a core holding. Evolution, I'd be fine with a core holding. So, what if I got maybe a few companies and just had them all as kind of those small spec holdings at 10% of the portfolio? You know what I mean?
So a combined 10% amongst a few speculatives.
Yeah, a few specs, maybe like 4 or
Yeah,
5 specs.
I think for like because we're talking about the Union Pacific money, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, so I do think
It's not 10%, but yeah.
Right, but as like a start to like building out a 10%.
Yeah, like we could have TKO in there for sure.
So I will tell you this, Ryan. I like the idea of if you're going to have like a little, like a few little like 2, 3, 4% type things, a combined 10% amongst two, 3, or 4 little speculative things. I would prefer them be things that have a chance of like 2xing, 3xing, 4xing
With a real
instead of like Union
thesis.
Pacific.
Yeah, like with a real thesis too.
Yeah. Something that actually has a chance to like really, even at a small allocation, have an outsized difference, basically. Yeah.
Maybe this company too that Blake mentions. Maybe that could be thrown in there.
Is that the coal one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the other cannabis company that we talked about.
Oh yeah.
You're in that.
Yeah, I am. It's like 1% for me or something like that. Yeah.
I put it in the private chat. You would know if you're a channel member, of course. I mean, I could throw High Tide in there, even though I think at this point that's more of a medium medium-sized holding. Smaller to medium, 4% is still pretty big. I think TKO can be thrown in there for sure, just because of like how the lack of their financials, even though they're like profitable and stuff. My issue with TKO is just like longevity. I'm worried about like there's no guarantee like that the business is going to be as hot as it is right now. I think you're seeing that with UFC currently, that like there's a bit of a fall off, even though like money wise they're doing good. And then I'm worried with WWE that like their longevity with what they're doing now is not going to be sustainable. Like the company's on fire right now, but I wonder how sustainable that's going to be. Then there's also another side where it's like I've seen the diehard fans for both companies, and they're going to always be there. So it's like perfect question mark mix.
Yep. So you got a lot to think about.
I do, and that's why you should all join Discord's link in description, and get posted throughout the week. But speaking of TKO, there's a UFC holding event coming up in an hour. I got to make dinner for that. But Seymour, where can the people find you? Of course, big Evolution mogul, I should say.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Mr. Seymour Duck.
Go there, everybody. And of course, find Fiscal at Mr. Macho Mag on Twitter. Don't find me on Twitter. I'm not on it. At Cashflow Kings YT. That's where my endorsement goes.
Exactly.
Thank you all for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, do dividend stocks, not drugs, and of course.
All right, end it with this.
Cash flow is king.
King.
Oh,